Well, hello and welcome to my first pedal board video build, something I haven't done before, but hey, you know, this could be fun, right? So basically the objective, what we're looking at today, is taking everything from this rig over here, all the pedals here, and placing it onto this new beautiful Nux Bumblebee large board, which is quite sexy looking. I quite like the look. The color here is pretty good. It'll stand out on those darkly lit stages and dark places that I end up playing at sometimes. So that's pretty cool. I just got this out yesterday and it's kind of been sitting here and I've just been kind of looking at it while I've been doing some stuff in the studio here. The two-tier system here is pretty cool, which I like, but just kind of looking at the dimensions of this as opposed to this old tired bones over here, kind of means we're going to have to sort of play with maybe this two-tier system and actually drop it, because at the moment I can't quite see this going over as it currently is. So the good thing is we can actually move all of these black planks here down below, which is where I'm thinking of heading at the moment. But this is kind of where I would need my dad right now, who was very mechanically minded and could just, great at Tetris. He was just that way. He thought that way. He could see something and just make something fit, whether it be packing a truck or a car or something, or in this case, sort of moving guitar pedals over to a space. So yeah, hopefully my dad's with me on this one and kind of gives me a bit of a hand. The main thing that I can see is the obstruction here is this big Vox wire over here, which they make smaller ones now, which is kind of cool. So I may be looking at another purchase. I'm not too sure. I think this will definitely fit. I've got this crybaby here for reference, which isn't going on the board, but it's roughly the same size. And you can see there that it does fit, but it would mean that these planks would have to come down and then around. So anyway, I'll get started and we shall see how we go. Oh, boy, that's tight. So as I can see so far here, it's a bit of a tight fit on these planks here, so they don't quite fit from the side here. And I think what I can work out here so far is that you've got to start here and sort of slide them across. So I might just have to move these back towards the back here underneath on the lower tier, just gradually sort of take them off that way, which is kind of annoying actually. Yep, I don't see any other way to do it. I'm doing well. I haven't lost one screw yet. These things are really tight, but they are moving. I just don't want to damage this unit. She can, yeah, okay, cool. So there's one spacing there on the back one, so we're just gonna sort of match that. So it's like 1, 2, 3. So far, everything's kind of looking even-ish. I think that's gonna come down just a little bit further and try and match the holes here. Almost. A little bit too far. Yeah, some paint's coming off the side of this as I'm sliding this across, and I'm not even sure if this is the way you're supposed to do it. Anyway. Okay. Oh, this one moves easy. Well, it did. Probably only needed to just get like a little bit of lubrication or something, some WD-40. And this is kind of where Dad would have stepped in and given me a hand on this one. So Dad, if you're watching and listening, could definitely use your help right about now. Sort of getting the vibe that I'm going to have to make this an entire low tier system, but I hope I can still use some of this, because these smaller pedals could theoretically go across the top here. Then I can also, if I need to, mount some power here underneath. There's also a DI box that needs to go last in the chain as well, which I do want to run because I'm trying to, there's been a few places I've played at recently which don't have exactly clean power. It was a venue up in Caloundra where I was playing there, and I was getting some hum through the system there, which was yeah, not so cool. And it was mostly when I was running electric, funny enough, not acoustic. So I just think running a DI box at the end of the chain just before it hits the mixer might just kind of ground a few things a little bit better. It's a bit of a complex rig, this one that I'm trying to dial in here, which is trying to satisfy both acoustic and electric, which has always been a challenge for me to dial in. If it's acoustic, it takes about 10 minutes to set a rig up, you know, or electric, maybe a little bit longer, just to dial correct delays and drives and all that sort of thing. It's a little bit more effects based, but when you're trying to do both and trying to set up a rig that satisfies both, it's yeah, it takes a little bit longer. I'm definitely gonna need a vacuum cleaner here. I'm not sure if it's coming up in the video here, but there's all these little bits of chips of paint, and yeah, it's all very yellow at the moment. Okay, cool. So, and don't drop it. That would not be cool. One left. So this is interesting here because I've still got this one. I didn't see that over there, by the way. Two left, I should say, not one left. What we do, I think you gotta try to move these together. Yeah, there we go. Slide it in nicely. I've got one space between all these planks. I'm trying to match everything up at the moment. I don't know if that's going to work for all this over here. I hope it does, because I really don't want to spend the rest of the day moving these planks around. I really want to get into it and start moving some stuff across. By the way, I'm actually gigging tomorrow. So I only have a day to put this together. This is called living really dangerously. I could have waited till Monday, where the next lot of gigs I've got are like 4 days apart, which would have given me definitely ample time, but I was just too darn excited to get moving on this, you know? There's something exciting about building a rig. Okay, we'll try this one. This is cool. I'm getting faster at moving these planks now, which is kind of cool. Done up very tight. Again, I guess that's good security. I wonder if this is actually defective, because this doesn't quite fit. The length of this is slightly too long. Some of these, like as in the video there, you saw some of these move really easily, but these top tier ones are just a little bit, oh man, what am I doing wrong? Just got to bend it slightly to make it work. I don't know if that's good manufacturing going on there. Anyway, we're there now. Oh, actually, hang on. Now that's actually two. Now, do I want two here, or do I want one like all these other spaces here? Two kind of brings it even and kind of flush to the front there. If I go one more hole back here, it matches the others. What to do? Let's maybe leave it two for now. I kind of like the flushness at the top there. I guess I can move that now. Now that it's in on this tier, I can kind of move it around, hopefully a little bit easier. Those extra chips of paint come off the side of this unit onto those planks. So try and get that nice and clean, which will definitely help the adhesion much later, a nice clean surface. I don't know about the two gap here now. It kind of looks a bit funny, but at the same token, once you get pedals on there, we shouldn't run into any issues. I mean, this lower tier where we're going to start down here is going to have these fatter pedals on it. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be any issue with that. Anyway, it pretty much all hinges on this Vox wire here. So where we start at the moment is pretty much getting these pedals off and starting to get a little bit of a dry run, just kind of get some ideas of placement. So this is the very critical part as to see how this is going to work. So fingers crossed. I'm trying to get all these bits of Velcro off, I guess, as we go. Yeah, so already I can see that this second plank is going to have to go. That's because I'm going to have a wire that's going to be sitting over, and unfortunately here it's not really that visible, but where that Vox sits, which is going to be first in the chain, I've got to try and get a guitar lead through there, which if we have a look here now at where that is, that's not going to work. That doesn't go in. We need like that much. Same token as well, if I move this plank here closer, that will solve that problem. So I've still got two across the top here. The only thing is I'm not exactly confident that these smaller pedals are going to sit on top there without some sort of overhang happening. Unless, of course, the pedals go this way, which might work. It might work. It may just have to be an entirely low tier system. Don't really, yeah. At the moment, I'm not really sure I want to do that. I kind of like the idea of the 2-tier. It's kind of like you're not utilizing the unit to its full potential. I kind of like the fact that some of the pedals sit up here, and there's closer access to it from when you're standing and gigging. Anyway, we've got to do what we've got to do, right? Of course, the backup plan is to take this out of the rig and get like a Crybaby Mini, which, yeah, the Crybaby, which, I've got here the big version, that Mini is pretty much the same voicing as this Crybaby. I've just found in my experience, this Vox has a more interesting sweep that works better with a DI rig. I find that this Crybaby works better through traditional amplifiers, but that's my experience with these things. Of course, we all have our tastes and preferences in tone and what we like. Okay, so we'll move this back one hole just to create a little bit more initial space. Let's get this off here for a second so I can. I haven't done some of these old ones up yet. Oops. Well, you don't need to worry about this plank's going anywhere. It's all very tight fit on here. Holy dooly, man. Why isn't that moving? Anyone got a hammer? Okay. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, that's interesting. So it kind of sits underneath like that. There's now access, so we can plug that straight in, which is kind of cool. And that's up as far as it goes, but whether that, yeah, that's not going to come down. Come back like this. That does come down. Gives me a little bit of room in the back here, which I kind of like. There might be something else that can go down there, perhaps. We shall see. Whether I can chuck something up there, that would also remain to be seen. Anyway, it's just a dry run for now, so that is cool. I like it a lot. So Voxoir. Voxoir, and then boost. All this extra double-sided tape and Velcro and get all the old stuff off. I'm not sure if I want to use this dual lock stuff that it came with because it's, from what I've been told, it's quite adhesive. And once it's on, it's on. There's no getting it off, which when you want to change your rig up at some point, can be good to have a little bit of flexibility. But yeah, all this Velcro that's been on this old board, it is done. I had a good run with that Bones. It's 8 years old, and my big size 15 feet have been stomping all over it. It's gone all over Australia and overseas, done gigs. So it's definitely worked hard. Okay, so then into the boost here. I'm not sure if I want the boost here. That might run a little bit better actually if I put the boost here. See how things look when we go. I still don't have the vision yet. Finding things as I go. Now I want to move this drop. I had this drop towards the end of the chain, but I think it was just, you know, trying to find where things sit. But now I've got a new unit here. It's kind of like, okay, well now I'm going to put things where I actually really, really want them. And that drop, I want, the question is, do I want the drop here before the drive? Or still want it over there? Now I kind of know why I've put it here, because it also has the octave setting on here, the octave harmony. So there's the single note and then the octave beneath, which in my experience, it's kind of another debate thing, but I do prefer that after the drive. Yeah. So now that boost is, okay, yep. I think it would be better if these guys went here. It's bright while I see it. Bright sounds better. Okay, so come on. Yeah. All right, so here. Already I'm just having a little trouble seeing it. I was really hoping that I could have 1, 2, 3 across the lower, but it hasn't quite worked out that way. I'm going to have to think about this. Okay, so maybe this might work. So Vox into the amp modeling, the tone X, into the Plethora X3, which I use as basically just one board. So delay level 1, delay level 2, which I can also run simultaneously or separately. And then the loop is here, which the loop I'm using probably a little bit more than the delay throughout an entire set. So having that loop right there is going to be great. It's actually going to be nice and tight. I have to go back a little bit for the delay, but I think that's going to be okay. I'll get used to that. So now where's the inputs here? Just doing a mono for now. To the input. Inputs, yes. I'll put that nice and flush up against here. It just gives me a little bit more room for these leads here. Kind of work. Okay, I can pop down there. All right, so left to right, and then I can go right to left, and then left to right again underneath. Perhaps I don't quite know yet. Still got this upper tier, so we might have to go sideways like that. Doesn't really matter, I guess, too much. The only thing to then think about there is we're going to have like these little jointed cables which are going to sit out a little bit. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess we got all these crazy clips here to kind of mess around with. Don't ask me how any of this stuff works. Oh boy. All right, so I guess the delay would be next. So these guys come on very rarely. This is going to be on the whole time. And then an EQ2 underneath here. Actually, no, firstly the compression sustainer, because there's also EQing and noise gate that I use on here too. I haven't taken all the tape off yet. Okay. And that's not going to work because it doesn't quite fit. Doesn't quite fit underneath. Does this one fit underneath? Nope, it does not. I just don't like that overhanging like that. I think that looks a bit tacky. If I could potentially saw these planks in half, probably. Of course, we can't do that. I wonder if this boost would go underneath. Nope, the knobs get in the way as well. Again, in terms of height, we need like that much. I don't know if this is going to work. This is so far pretty cool down here, though. I like that. I actually had some wishful thinking. I've got a whammy unit sitting over here, just off camera, that I would like to bring back into my rig because it's an effect I kind of like having there for certain things. Pretty cool when you can manipulate pitch, so it's pretty handy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What to do, man? What fits underneath here? That fits underneath. That one fits underneath. Okay, well, let's maybe I mean, I don't know if this is going to sort of line up with the power either at the moment. Did I get all the Velcro off? No, I didn't. Okay, so boost chorus effect from this delay, and then maybe like that. I still have a little area here I can potentially sort of play with, and then I can basically move that EQ2 to here before the knobs get in the way. So potentially what we can do here is we've gone down, up, and then back down again. But at the same token, this here and then this here are always on. So I don't know if this is going to work, man. No, because I'm still going to have to, I mean, I can still run the lead into here, but this is starting to get really convoluted and I mean, everything's there. Now there is a DI, which I've got to bring in.